Lina, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Pleasure. And I know you're traveling. You have a heavy week in front of you. So thank you for making time for this.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm happy about this.
Very cool. We made it happen.
Yes.
So I read a bit about from other interviews about you. And what is one of the happiest memories you have from the early days of you going to techno parties?
I think the key moment for me when it comes to happiness connected to techno parties is like my first visit there. I came to a techno club by myself when I was living in Hamburg still, and it was like a gate to a new world for me. And I queued at the club without knowing what will happen there. I just knew that it was open and they play electronic music, and it was not a special club or something like this, but just seeing the people there, like the toilet was flooded in water, but nobody really cared. It was really just about the music, and for me, this was like this eye-opening moment. It's like, this is what's going on in techno clubs, and I liked it. Everybody was super unbothered, and before I only went to like hip-hop clubs and these classical discos. So it was just like a gate to a new world, and I think at this moment I was like super happy.
Wow, and I can imagine it was like a mind-opening in a way. What made you go there in the first place?
I was working a lot of shifts as a bartender in a venue close to it, and after this you have some kind of adrenaline left in your body. It's like also like after playing sets you cannot fall asleep immediately. And I wanted to go somewhere, but I didn't have any co-workers or friends that I could go with, and this was the closest option. And I was like, I always wanted to go to techno club, let's just try.
Why not?
I was in my work clothes, and then I came there by myself.
That's super interesting. And another thing that I think you said in the Playful interview was that one of your friends started making you listen to techno artists while you were going together to a festival. You were about to go to a festival. What was one of the first artists that for you was, oh shit, I like this music?
Yeah, also this friend, he's my best friend Silvio. He introduced me to this world, and he was also like, did you ever go to Berghain? And I was like, no, I never. And he was like, yeah, you want to come with our group of friends? One of them was my flatmate, and he took me there, and it was actually, I think, the live set of Colin Benders.
Wow.
And I just saw this man with this huge setup working like a machine, and I never saw a live set before in my life. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. Wow. And I was like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? And all the people were so in sync, and this 1 hour I think I was not even dancing, I was just staring. And I think Colin Benders was the first artist where I was like, wow, this has a lot of depth and a lot of intensity to it.
Yeah, and certainly I think Colin Bender it's a magician almost.
Yeah.
Like the way he uses modulars and integrates everything, and the way he plays, it's incredible.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I think he's also an orchestra conductor. I think that's his other musical side. So
it would match.
Yeah, exactly. From synthesizers. Wow. And you actually listened to him in Berghain. It was mind blowing.
Yeah, when it was my first time there, so it was a really intense experience.
Yeah. Do you remember if at that time were you already thinking about playing yourself?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. I took some DJing lessons, but it was for hip-hop music. So they showed me more how to scratch like these tracks, like from the window to the wall. And it was cool because I knew these tracks, and I think it's always better to start to practice with music that you feel familiar with. But no, at this moment I just like saw myself as part of the crowd, and I didn't have this idea of becoming a DJ or something like this. I was really interested in how it's working, and I was really curious to understand, because do you know this meme of this girl that's like, what are DJs actually doing? This was me at this moment. What is going on?
You just see them moving around, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Very interesting. So it was pure curiosity toward DJing that you liked.
Yeah, 100%. Because I don't like to be part of something where I don't understand like technology behind it. And this is where my best friend like kind of introduced me to everything he had to set up at home. And I think it's always nice if you have a friend like this that can introduce you and without pressure. But he was a good teacher. He was also sometimes like when we met up for lessons and I didn't like prepare something, he was like, excuse me, why didn't you practice? And yeah, he was pushing me a bit.
Where are the homeworks?
Yeah.
And so you started with hip hop, and then at some point you thought, okay, I want to actually go into the electronic music and techno.
Yeah.
Was techno the first part of electronic music you explored, or there was something in between?
I think a bit in between, because the first festival I've ever went to was with my sister, and I was like 15 years old. It was Nature One Festival. Do you know it?
I think I've heard of it.
It's like a super big electronic music festival, but it's more this. It has a lot of hard style, up tempo, and like I think Paul van Dyk also played there, and Robin Schulz, like really commercial, but at the same time super hard underground techno also.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a mix of everything, I guess. But I think it made an imprint on me because I was 15. It was my first festival experience, and then you're already more familiar with the music, I guess.
Yeah, that was before your first techno club, so that was that was longer before.
Yeah.
Okay, and then but for you was already like, okay, you were enjoying electronic music of different kind, and then eventually you discovered techno. You start playing. Were you in Berlin already at that time, or were you still in Hamburg?
Yeah, also when I started to play techno music, I was doing an internship in Berlin. So I was kind of living here, but not really. And then later when I finished my university, I came back. I also bought myself then this small controller. Yeah, to practice at home.
Okay.
And to spend some time in Hamburg.
Yeah.
It was locked down, and I was like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. And so that was, how many years ago did you move to Berlin? It was after lockdown started.
Yes, I think it was in 2021 then.
Okay.
Yeah, so 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah. And then you moved to Berlin, you're like, okay, techno, I'm going to go and do and get closer to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it's the typical way, no? Yeah. As soon as you arrive in the city and you meet more people who are also part of the scene, I think it's really easy to get, to enjoy it and to also start to identify yourself with this more.
Yeah, because I think it's a big city for techno. In general, electronic music, it's very easy to find a lot of new artists and new circles of people.
Yes, and it's really easy to also find a specific circle that you like, even if it's just a club that you prefer or something like this. Because I think it's also, if you don't have that many options, you maybe don't feel so connected to it. But I think here in the city, it's really easy to find your spot where you know, like, this is my this is my go-to place where I know I will always have a good time.
And what were the spots or circles for you when you moved to Berlin?
I actually, when I firstly moved to Berlin, I tried to experience as much as possible because it was like a new world that opened for me. So of course I always asked like some friends, can we go here this weekend? Can we go here this weekend? And I also did a lot of this ambient listening sessions and stuff like this. So I think I didn't have this one specific place. It was more about the exploring in general, which I still do. I still haven't been to all of the clubs.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to go to all the
that's
clubs here.
True. There's also some places I am not specifically interested in.
Yeah.
But I think before you judge, you should always go there once.
Yeah, it's true. And maybe you find out something you didn't know before. That's very interesting. Did you already have a friend circle before you moved to Berlin? Or it's mostly new friends that you made in the city?
And new friends. I came here without knowing anybody. But it was super fast. Like through my flatmate that I was living with. He introduced me to some people, and then also through work a bit. So it was really organically. I didn't have struggles to find anybody.
Yeah. What was your expectation before moving to Berlin and after you moved? Did you have any ideas that you changed your mind on?
I mean, I think Berlin has kind of a bad reputation everywhere, no? I thought it's like a dirty city with fucked up people, and now I think it's a dirty city with nice fucked up people. I think this is what changed.
Yeah, it's. I think so. I think it's very true, and a lot of people that I have, friends or colleagues or teammates, they either love it so much or they're no, this city is too much. I would never live
Yeah,
here.
I'm not the biggest fan of complaining too much about the city where you live in, because with me, I'm free. I can live wherever I want, actually. So if I don't like it here, I can move.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it here, and I think the city is kind of what you make out of it.
Yeah.
Because for me, it can be so relaxing to live here, while other people go completely crazy here and say it's too much for me. But I have my flat, I have my safe space, I have specific friends. I'm not so much like roaming around anymore. So I think it's really what you make out of it. And I'm happy to live here. I really like it.
Yeah. I'm super happy too, and I think also what you said, that you find your circle, you find interest and places where you want to go, and people that are connected to that. I think it just makes the experience super beautiful.
Yeah.
And thinking about your DJing and performances, like, tell me more about your weekly routine. Like, how do you work a lot on your sets before you go and play?
Yeah, I do. I think with the kind of music that I play, it's really important that you not prepare the set, but kind of get to know the tracks really well. Because I play trance music, and it has a lot of melodies, it has a lot of different elements, some weird changes that you didn't expect. So I spend a lot of my time on the weekend to look for this music, because I'm very picky. So I know exactly what I want to play, and then I try to find the tracks. It's not that I find the tracks and then it inspires me, but the other way around. Like, I have something very specific in mind, and then it takes, of course, a bit more time to find these tracks. So I would say my weekly routine, if I start my work weekend starts on a Friday, Friday and Saturday and Sunday I'm gone working, and then I come back on Monday, and usually Monday I chill. I try to regain all of the sleep hours I've lost during the weekend.
Yeah.
I just chill in bed with my cats, and then Tuesday I slowly start to come back alive. And I try to do good things for my body. I also like to treat myself. I'm super into cosmetic treatments at the moment. I try all of these different things, and then Wednesday and Thursday I used to prepare for the weekend. Yeah.
So Tuesdays like Mondays like Sunday for normal people.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
Monday and Tuesday is my weekend. Yeah.
And then Tuesday is your weekend. You need to relax, self-care, a lot of cosmetics, just like the spa day.
Yes.
Lina spa day.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday, Thursday, you start looking for tracks for the upcoming weekend.
Yes.
For the coming gigs.
Yeah.
And how do you find the tracks? So is it mostly things from the past? Because trance, you used to be huge in the 90s.
Yeah.
Do you look at past discography of artists and labels, or you look also at contemporary stuff?
I try to be more open to find more recent music, but it's just hard for me.
Yeah.
I think I just have this specific interest in older music. I think most of the tracks that I play are like 20, 30 years old.
Wow.
And I always get asked, like, why don't you play vinyl? Because it's so much easier to find the music on vinyls, because the record stores are filled with this music. But I don't know. I think it has kind of a... for me, I like to dig on the internet. It's more accessible for me. And if we have this digital option, why not use it? And I found some nice methods how to also clean the tracks a bit if I find them. And... maybe give them a bit more of a punch. Yeah. Okay. Because over the years, and also with this, to put them into a digital files, sometimes it loses a bit of the quality.
Yeah, from vinyl to digital.
Exactly, okay. Yeah. And I dig more into the older collections. I have some go-to labels, and I have a super nice YouTube algorithm. Like everything that gets recommended to me, it's mostly by some, I don't know who has the time to do that, but I appreciate this people so much because they have like a huge vinyl collection,
Okay.
and then they film every vinyl like
Wow.
and put the 10-minute video on YouTube, and then I can skip like through it, and then I can see if I find something.
And,
Yeah.
and that's for trance specific. So it's old vinyls
Yeah.
and people who are collectors or like passionate about
Yeah,
the
trance
music.
and acid stuff. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. YouTube, like, I struggle with YouTube, like, in terms of discovery, because it always points to the most commercial.
Yeah.
Right?
You need to dig a bit deeper.
Wow.
And you need to find the channels of these
Okay.
people. There's a lot actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have channels who are people who are collectors. So you fish from their repository, you find tracks you like based on what you expect,
Yeah.
and then you go and buy them in vinyl normally, and then you put it into digital.
No, I don't buy. Also sometimes I buy them on vinyl if I want to have it at home and listen to it. But since I need the MP3 format, I don't transform it by myself. I meant that I'm buying the tracks digitally, and then I try to master them a bit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, to give, I guess, low end is the low end.
Yeah,
make it a bit,
exactly.
Yeah.
But now with the new Pioneer mixer, for example, it's also really good because it has this compressor. And for me, this is perfect because you don't need to make the track louder or get the risk of putting it too loud.
Saturating it, yeah.
Yes, and then you have this compressor. It's really good feature.
Wow.
No.
Very interesting to know, yeah. Very interesting to know. It's also, like, especially old tracks in the 90s, they didn't have the bass line that we're used to right now.
Yeah.
So I think the challenge is sometimes you play with something that is current, and then new track sounds so loud and
Yeah, but I like it. It's like an extra challenge, you know. It's also really challenging for me to layer these tracks because I try to find 2 trance tracks, for example, and they are so dramatic and they have this build-ups, and then I need to find something for in between to use as a third track, so I can make a nice transition without losing this peak moment of the track. And for me, it's like a bit of a game, you know. It's like, what can I put? And if I find a track, and sometimes I'm like, this is unmixable. Like, I cannot do it. Like, you try to set a loop somewhere, you are like who produced this, and like, what does this track want from me? I just want to play you. But then it's like a challenge for me to find like the way to mix it.
Very interesting. And so you test tracks, you test mixing them at home a lot. Yeah. To figure out, okay, this works together, this not so much. Yeah. It's a challenge.
Yeah, for me this is super important to have some pack of tracks prepared that I can be sure that works together, because also for me, people who can play trance music spontaneously have my biggest respect, because it's easy to play them until the end and then use maybe the outro to mix it, but I don't want to do it like this. I want to use this peak moment and then another track comes in. So
because of the melody and sometimes the vocals.
Yes, exactly. I played the piano, so I'm familiar with the chord system and I'm familiar which chords work together, but just because a track is labeled
A minor.
A minor doesn't mean it's actually A minor, because there's also some elements sometimes that are off key, which can also be super nice. And I'm waiting for these tracks, and sometimes when I'm also looking for new music, I looking specifically for a track to play after another track. So it's like
clear.
I made it a bit more complicated than it actually needs to be.
Which makes all the sense. And Olivia Mendes has these things of sequences, for example, that she knows that, for example, you have like 2-3 tracks that always work really well together. Yeah. So, you know, when you start with one, it just feels very nice as a sequence. Yeah.
And it's also a safe way. If I ever feel overwhelmed in the DJ booth or something like this, I'm like a bit stuck, don't know what to play. I have like 4 or 5 tracks that I know work well together and create a really nice moment. Yeah. And I'm like, I think you need this right now.
Yes. Yeah. It's like you're building up toward that moment, and you know it's going to give something to the audience. Yeah. Have you figured out if there is anything specific you look for in your sets? Anything you want to communicate to the audience? For example, it could be these moments that you build, is there specific emotion that you feel that you want to communicate, or something else?
so what I figured out for myself and what I get as a feedback is that I think the main emotions that I want to deliver is like being careless and happiness, actually, because for me this music that I'm playing is also connected to happiness. It has the spirit of like this freedom and also not taking it too seriously, you know. And if you putting it also in the context where you play it in a techno set, I think it can create these moments, because if you only have these tracks, it can also be a bit too much and you're like, okay, I don't see this journey anymore. But I like to have like long build-ups and then going deeper again. So I really want to have like an adventure for the people. Not really, I don't enjoy these unexpected moments too much, or these drastic changes. I like when it's a soft journey, really careless, and I like to have this. I also feel these emotions in this moment because I enjoy this music so much.
Yeah.
That I'm
It's
really
beautiful.
feeling it, and sometimes I listen to the track 20 times and I still get goosebumps from it, because I'm like, this is the moment we're here together. Yes, and the emotion of togetherness. Even in the darkest, like, fucked up clubs, you can still feel this romance and drama and like, yeah.
It's beautiful, especially because it seems that you really feel it for yourself, and then it's probably what comes across when people come and see you in a set, in a performance, because they probably see you enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'm also a bit struggling and just concentrated, like, oh.
For example, was there any moment that you can remember that where you had a stressful moment, something was fucked up, or I don't know?
Yes, so much. I mean, sometimes it's just the technology. I also remember the first time I played with this new Pioneer mixer, and I was like, what is this? I was not prepared for it, and I usually don't play with it. And there was no light in the club, and I didn't realize it had 4 channels, so I put the highs way up, and I fucked the set up.
Wow.
I was devastated afterwards. I was like, I want to always do my best, and if it's only because of technology, then you're like, I don't deserve this. But I was like not prepared enough. So there's also moments when you just don't feel the vibe in the club. Maybe the party was supposed to go another way. Maybe your music is not the best for the slot. But it's easy to come into this cycle of overthinking then. I'm a professional in it. I'm staying at the DJ booth and thinking like, it doesn't seem like the people are enjoying it too much. And then I tried other things. It also doesn't work because maybe the genre switch was too fast. And these are the moments where you are a bit overthinking maybe, or just feeling uncomfortable because you feel a bit out of space, I guess.
Makes a lot of sense. I think probably most of the artists I've met had the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's normal. But
It's normal,
we also need to understand that we are the ones who are judging ourselves the most.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when I'm in a club, I'm also staying in front of the DJ booth and minding my own business and not going completely crazy. Maybe because the sound there is the best, or I want to look at the DJ because I'm starstruck or something like this. And in these moments, I also think to myself, like, but when you playing is doing it in front of you, you're getting insecure. So it's not that deep, sometimes.
I think it's super normal.
Yeah.
And do you find a way that works for yourself to get out of that mind space? So if you are doing a performance, you care about it, you feel, oh shit, this person is like going out.
To have a smoke. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. You're like, no, where are you going? Please come back. And then, sometimes it happens. Like I remember speaking with another friend of mine, Lag. He was saying like sometimes just the entire dance floor empties, and people just going for a smoke. You know, they need some free from her. Yeah. Like, how do you get yourself out of that situation when you are in the moment?
Also usually I take a deep breath and say, Lila, you are not the main character right now. The crowd is the main character. And it's not too deep, If people didn't enjoy your set, I'm sorry. I spent 2 hours of your life. I tried my best. You maybe didn't try your best to like it. Maybe you tried your best to like it. we just didn't come to terms together, you know?
Very cool.
It's like, it's not that deep. When I'm in this moment, I'm like, because if you're starting to let it get too close to you in that moment, you're fucking it up even more. And nobody will be happy in the end. But afterwards, I think it's really important to ask yourself, why did I feel this way? Why do you think you didn't connect with the crowd too much? Maybe why didn't the crowd like it too much? I try to analyze the situation and do it better the next time.
Yeah. And because I mean, there's only so much you can control, right? In the end, you cannot control what the crowd reaction is. It's more about how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Do you feel you have a good way to process these moments where it doesn't feel quite perfect? You come back home and you...
Yeah, I realized that I cannot think about it the day after because I'm without sleep, and everything is super dramatic. When you are without sleep, you're like, oh my God, my career is over. I will never, I don't want to continue.
I remember that guy leaving in that moment.
That was so hard. But no, I realized I have to think about it the next day. And I have the luck that I live together with my boyfriend who's doing the same. He's also a DJ, so we have good conversations together about this, and we are both there for each other to also support our feelings and emotions. And yes, the main thing is that I try to learn from it, and this will make me better in the end. Because my goal is to have the best skills that I can for myself in this kind of music that I'm playing. So it's all a learning experience, I guess, in the end. And negative emotions always come with a learning, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. And especially if it seems you have a way to process them, also with your partner, with your boyfriend, also for yourself. It seems you know how you work, and you know that, okay, on a Monday, I'm gonna park these thoughts. Maybe on a Wednesday.
Back of my head.
Yeah, it's super important. And there was another thing that I think you were talking about with Amanda from Playful, which was, you said that you want to integrate more, you want to feel more in your life. And did you integrate your emotions? For example, is there a way, if you feel anger or if you feel extreme joy, that you communicate that into your sets?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always, I don't enjoy to go too dark in my music. So when I'm feeling bad, I'm trying to use my more uplifting music as an outlet to give me more, also to boost me with positive emotions.
Okay.
Because I also figured out, if I'm searching for more dark music, I'm really emotionally attached to the tracks on like that I'm selecting, actually. So when I start to go more deeper and more into this dark sound that would actually reflect my emotions, I think it would be not so good for me. But I try to do the opposite. I try to use them as a boost, and I'm a really positive person, I need to say. I always try to see the best. I'm trying to be as happy as I can always. So for me, this music that I'm playing is a perfect match, because even if I'm feeling bad on a day and I play the set in the night and it's happy, filled with joy, like also going deeper sometimes, but I feel with it. So in the end, I will come home and be like, nice.
Yeah. That's so interesting. And for example, I guess you listen to a lot of music as well at home. Tends to be the same music you play in a set, or it's different?
It depends a bit. Like, it's a bit hard to listen to the genre that you're playing without getting into this work mode. Like, maybe I can put this in my set somehow. Like, even if you go to clubs or to parties, I think it's a bit hard to shut this voice, like shut out this voice in your head is saying like, you can play it in your set.
Taking notes. Yeah.
Use yourself. But no, at home I like to listen to more class, also disco, house, also very positive music.
Yeah, but of different kind, things you wouldn't play.
Sometimes I also like to play house music.
Yeah. And is there, like, for example, if you find a new song that you like, do you listen to it on repeat?
Yeah.
Or, yeah?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
happens to you? Yeah.
All the time, full day, yeah.
For like 3 days, you just listen to that song.
Yeah.
And okay, and it gives you an effect on the mood, like it gives you inspiration as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, where do you get your inspiration from for sets?
Good question. I think I'm a person, I get my inspiration from the moment where I need the inspiration from. For me, I love to look at the people in the club and who is there. And I think what inspires me the most is to imagine this one person coming to the club. Maybe they needed to save up some money to come there. Maybe it's their highlight of the month. Maybe they're here with friends. Maybe they have something to celebrate. Maybe it's the birthday. And I'm very, not dramatic, but these moments for me are very important. Like when I have something to celebrate, or when I have the time to go to the party, like I said, like this weekend I will have like a Saturday off. I'm super excited about it. And then I want to have a nice experience. And for me, these people are the inspiration because they come to the club, they use their free time to be there. And I'm thinking about how can I make this experience for them stay in their mind as a positive memory. This
Very
is what gives me this inspiration because I don't want to do it for myself. I want to do it so the people who spend their money to be at this event and their free time, which is more valuable than money, will have a good time and will enjoy the time.
Yeah. Do you meditate? Do you have any sort of spiritual practice of different kind? I don't know if you're religious or not, but...
No. Also, I sometimes do some breathing exercises when I'm feeling stressed, but not specifically.
Do you manage to be really in the moment? For example, to experience when you're playing, for example, do you tend to drift with your head or you're in the moment?
I'm in the moment. I'm very concentrated. I sometimes I look around and try to feel at least one time like where I am and what's happening. I had this one moment I was playing in Switzerland and it was like a 3 or 4 show weekend and I was staying in Switzerland and I didn't know where I am. I was like looking around and trying to look at the people and understand how they look like which nationality they could be, because I completely forgot where I am. And then I was like, oh, what's happening? And then I was like out of the moment. I was like, oh, I need to come back somehow. And then after 10 minutes I was like, okay, let's just forget where you are, you will think about it. And then I saw on the USB stick the name of the playlist was Geneva, so I was like, I'm here.
Wow.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm completely in the moment. I don't even know where I am.
And it tends to be a pleasant experience for you, like you are in the flow, or it tends to be okay. So you're not dissociating. Like in that moment, maybe you were dissociating from
everything.
You're like, holy shit, who am I? When is it? Where am I? Yeah, but normally you get into a state of flow. So you manage to. Very interesting. Do you like long sets, extended sets?
My favorite is between 3 and 4 hours.
3 and 4 hours.
This is the time where I can really say everything I want to say.
Yeah.
I like to have a long intro, long ending. I love drama, and 4 hours it's like opera, you know.
Yeah. It's a good span of time to express without rushing.
Yeah.
Do you, when you start a set, for example, is the first hour similar to the last one, or the intensity for you, the concentration changes? Are you more tense at the start?
It depends a bit. When I'm playing club shows, I try to have a smooth beginning, and then I also don't want to do too much because of the person who's playing after me. Because if you're having like a 12-minute, oh my god, emotional banger in the end, I think it's not so necessary if you're like the second person of the lineup. But if you are closing or for festival sets where people come like specifically for the artists or are more open to having different kind of sounds, I like to have this because I enjoy to do it. But in curated club nights, I try to be a bit respectful and try to not be the main character too much.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, depending also what slots you're playing. If you're
Yes,
playing.
yeah. If I'm headlining the night, I feel like I can do it, because I think it's also the job of the person after me. If you have one headliner, to adapt a bit to the sound, and mostly the people come for the headliner to the club. So there I'm a bit more confident in playing the stuff that I want to play. But if it's a curated night with a lot of, like, with no specific headliner, I try to also keep it in the flow for the next person.
Yeah, which is a very, very good thing. I think it's something that, like, I think makes for the crowd, it makes the experience much better. Like, you do a smooth transition, and if people stay from beginning to end, they have a journey.
Yeah.
They don't feel like they're going to separate rooms.
Yeah. I think it can also trip you out a bit if you have too drastic changes in the middle, and the person starting with like intro already way more fast than the person before. I think it can scare some people away, and that's not necessary.
Yeah, and I think this happens a lot, like these days. Like even when I go to clubs, sometimes you have a person that is playing a very smooth set, or like a hypnotic techno, whatever you want to call it, and then the next one is like 145 banging techno, and the one after is like going back to. I think the transition is needed between one artist and the other to make sure that like it's a journey. It's not like you feel like you need to run now. No, you need to slow down.
Yeah, it's a bit a two-sided sword, because from the one side, as an artist, you think like, I was booked specifically for my sound, and this is also the sound that people expect from me, and maybe it's the thing of the promoter to create the night like this, so there will be a smooth transition. But also I think it's my own responsibility to not fix it, but to be respectful to the crowd also, because I don't want to leave you hanging afterwards. Or it's also just a shitty feeling when the person before you ends with a pop song or something like this, and the people are going absolutely crazy and like, oh, actually I wanted to play like an ambient intro. Like,
it's hard to transition from pop to ambient.
Yeah, but in the end, I also think it's not that deep, you know. If it doesn't happen to you at every set, that the opening DJ maybe is going a bit crazy, I also tend to tell them like, hey, maybe next time when you are playing the opening, chill. But in the end, like, okay, it takes, from my experience, it takes like 10-15 minutes for the crowd to adapt to a new set. And you can either do that by selecting the track so it's easier for them, or you push through, which for me is not an option, but
you just go like head on.
In the end, it's not so deep, it's a party.
We're talking about it like about rocket science. You need to be very careful. Someone is gonna die.
I think in this DJ scene we have a bit this getting lost in this too many details, also making a science out of things where I'm sometimes like, come on, it's just a party. People are here to enjoy themselves, to get fucked up. They want to enjoy their time, and nobody really cares about your last set and how amazing it was. Like, and why. And in this moment, like, I get it, it's really emotional, and you can see I'm also very emotional about it, but I also understand that it's entertainment, and that it's like, I try to not make a science too much out of it. I try to feel it. If it feels right, I do it. And if I sometimes have negative emotions about it, it's also okay. It's live and it's my job, so. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it's an entertainment. It's a fun thing for people to do. It's not really, it shouldn't be this painful thing, over-constructed.
Yes, I also understand. I mean, I was the same when I went to techno parties. It can feel like therapy, you know, because of the specific music. It can really, like, you have time to stay on the dance floor and think about really deep things, and really explore your inner self. And I think it's also really important. But in the end, speaking about how the DJ before or after you was playing doesn't change this experience too much. I'm here to make my best set as possible, and I hope everybody has this mindset. And it will always reach some people. So maybe some people think my music is therapeutic, and some people think it's super cheesy and cringe. So that's why I'm saying maybe it's not that deep. It will always have different opinions about it. Maybe some people enjoy to go from opening DJ 160 BPM to ambient set. Maybe some people like it. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you experience self-doubt for your when you're putting out like your music or you're doing a set? Like, is that a big thing for you?
Of course, music is so close to me, and I think it's a very personal thing to share your selection with other people, especially now that that I'm producing music and also sharing this music with people. It feels even more personal, and of course you're a bit hoping for good feedback and hoping that it will reach the people like you intended it to reach them. So I think sharing my selection or sharing my productions is like a piece of my soul.
Yeah. And now with production, do you feel even more personal, right? Because you're putting out Lena, Supergloss to the world.
I wouldn't call it pressure. I would call it curiosity, because I'm not this person that's expecting too much from everything. I'm going with the flow. I'm seeing like if people like it, I will be happy about it. And usually if people don't like it, they're not telling you. So I think music is something, so personal and so specific that is so it has such a big variety how it reaches people that you cannot make everybody like it. And if everybody likes it, maybe I don't want to do it because it's not specific enough. Yeah,
it's not real. It's not authentic to who you really are. Yeah. Do you feel with production, for example, do you manage to express your authentic self completely freely from, I don't know, whatever perceived judgment you might have or expectations?
Yeah, since I produced the EP together with my boyfriend, who also taught me how to produce and showed me a lot of things, he is also he's very similar to me in this sense. And he also, for example, we produced the track together and he said like, we should use your vocals for it. And I always sing at home. Nice. And I'm like always singing, but using it on a track, I was like, I don't know. And then he was like, no, write something, we will try. You're talented, let's do it. And we did it, and then I was like, I hated it. I was like, let's put like a robotic effect on it. So
because you didn't want.
Yeah, it's like listening to your own voice notes, so It's like also a bit cringe. Yeah. And then we put this mega robot voice effect on it. It's like, now it's cool. And then like from session to session, he turned the effect down, and we listened to the new versions of it. And the more I listened to it, the more I got used to hearing my own voice. And I think especially with singing, it's also really personal. Yeah. And I'm not a singer, I'm a DJ and producer, but using my own voice, I think it's something, it's like also a piece of me which I put in there. So yes.
And it's incredible because I think with voice especially, it's like one of the most profound and very personal things you can do. It's unique. Like it's even more unique than the music we create as producers. So I think it's a very good strategy to, first of all, just try, you put a lot of effects and then you So
it's actually a good tip.
It's a good tip, thank you. And did you release the track where you sing, you use your voice, or not yet?
It's premiered on my SoundCloud, but it will be out on 15th of May. So
very soon.
There the whole album will be.
Congratulations, I will listen to it.
Thank you.
And there was another thing that I wanted to ask you is like, what role does social media play in your life or in artist's life?
A bit bigger than I actually thought in the beginning. Yeah. Because I was not prepared. In the end, it's myself who puts the pressure on me. It's just, I try to use it as my portfolio. And portfolio also means like showing the gigs that I'm playing, showing the stuff that I'm proud of. I try to use it as a bit of a photo album, collecting the memories of stuff that I liked. I like to use this slideshow post with a lot of random pictures, and then Yeah, I try to not take it too seriously because I want to have fun with it. And when I just started my DJ account, I made like a separate account for my DJing, and I was posting random shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I grew, I toned it a bit down. I was like, okay, maybe I'll try to be a bit more professional. But
Mm-hmm.
now I'm coming a bit back to this attitude, like, come on,
Yeah.
it's you. Just do what feels good for you. And I think as a woman especially, you have a bit of this pressure where you're like, okay, I see the other accounts of other people.
Mm-hmm.
I see how you can grow on Instagram by using your other things and
Your body.
Yes, it's just like this.
Mm-hmm.
It works because the Instagram algorithm pushes it, and then you get more followers. And sometimes as a woman, I think everybody can agree on this. You are like, maybe I should just do it, and in the end I have my account is growing from it, and maybe it will help my career. But I try to fight these thoughts a bit because it's not myself. I don't feel comfortable with this. I sometimes I have nice photo shootings where I'm wearing something more sexy, like when I played for Conceptual, because it matched the theme. When I was playing there, my outfit was also more like revealing, but in the end, I don't want to be on this hunt for followers. It's very exhausting, and I think in the end it doesn't really boost your career as much as people tend to think, because either you're a good DJ or people book you because of your Instagram followers, and it's a bit, I don't see myself in this part of the scene really.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always a bit tempted, and I don't judge anybody for doing it the way that they want, and I think everybody should use social media in the way that feels comfortable for them. But I also think we need to take off a bit the pressure off ourselves, because in this moment where you can create authentic content, it also makes it more enjoyable for other people. I also shut down my the content suggestions on Instagram. There's like a feature where you can like shut it off completely, that you only see the content of the people that you follow, because I tend to compare myself a lot.
Yeah, so for example with other DJs, I guess.
Yeah, fully. But I think it's a good sign, because I want to grow, and I still try to use it as inspiration. Because why am I you also need to ask yourself, why are you comparing yourself? Something, probably, maybe you're jealous, maybe you think, maybe you are scared about something, maybe you are not happy with yourself, and in this moment the problem lays in you and not in this other person. And this person did nothing, they're just themselves on Instagram. And then I need to ask myself, like, what can I learn from this person that I can put in my life? Or what is the problem? Lina, what's the problem?
Have you figured that out? Like for you, for example, when you look at someone else, another DJ, and you start comparing to them, and you're like, oh, I wish I had this thing, or let's put it this way, the other person seems to have more than me, more followers, more gigs, better gigs. What is it that triggers in you?
I'm not sure. I think it's just that maybe they're also playing the social media game better, or are a bit more unbothered, because in the end I think I'm like, I knew this and this content would work, but I don't want to do it because it's against my own personal things. And then I'm like, but this person is using this content which is going against my personal things, but it's not their problem,
Yeah.
And this is a bit I'm like, come on, it's like something that is fully out of techno context, like this. I think you know which videos I'm talking about, these techno videos, and the people like filming on the raves, everything, and or DJs who are filming themselves in a DJ booth or something like this. For me, this is like against my interpretation. But
and it feels like it wouldn't be you, like you wouldn't do it because it's not you. It's not authentic in a way. It's not showing you.
When I started this, I was a bit more like, it bothered me a bit, but now I'm just thinking everybody should do what they feel comfortable with. I'm also doing it like this, and in the end I can say that I was authentic and I did it my way. Yeah, and it's not like if you're comparing yourself, you should take at least a learning from it and try to not go down this spiral of overthinking, because in the end, there's like always somebody will be more successful, and I'm not doing it to be the best DJ in the world. Like,
Yeah.
it's impossible.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the next somebody. I just do it because I enjoy it, and as long as people still enjoy to listen to my things, I will continue to do it.
Is that what drives you? Like, for example, if you think about you being a DJ as a professional choice.
Yeah, for me this is a big point, because I never asked anybody to play anywhere. The people put me in this position, that booked me. I get nice feedback, and I feel like I'm at the right spot, and I'm growing the way it's intended to be. So if people still want to listen to me, I'm happy to do it. And if one day people decide that they're not interested in me anymore, I can do something else. But right now, this is what drives me, yes.
Very interesting. You started getting closer to electronic music and as a DJ like 4 years ago, right? Roughly 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And at that time, were you thinking this could be a career for you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It was more like a joke, you know.
Yeah.
I played horrible sets in the beginning. Horrible.
I think
horrible.
everybody.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think I play Rigid from Kobuzilan after this glue from Bison. It was practicing, you know.
Yeah, of course.
And when I had my first gig, I was trying to be professional. I was practicing a lot. It's still a set that I wouldn't play now anymore, but like who liked their first set in general?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But no, even when I had like 2-3 gigs a month, I was seeing it more as a side thing. Yeah.
Very interesting. Did you have to adapt something in your view of yourself from doing that as a pure hobby interest into, okay, now it's actually my job, my main job?
It happened so organically, because I said it in another interview that I was without a job at this moment, and I was without studying or anything. I was just a free woman. And then through this HoS stream that got a lot of attention, I got a lot of booking requests. And at this moment I realized, like, wow, I can actually live from this. So it was really like, without stressing myself, I also said no to a lot of shows that didn't feel right. I think I never had this point where I'm like, oh shit, like I don't feel good, or I'm not right for this, or something like this. It was really organically, to be honest.
Yes, and when you think about your life in the future, next 5 years or 10 years, do you have plans, or for you, you just take it as it comes?
Yeah, fully.
Fully, yeah.
Because with this job, you also never know what comes next. Maybe in 10 years, I fully can't identify myself with the scene anymore, or maybe my strategy of not posting certain content didn't work out, or something like this. So maybe I'm not even into music as much anymore. So I try, this is also a point, I try to not put too much pressure on myself so I can still enjoy it. Because I think with a 5-year plan, you're like, in 5 years, I want to play at this festival. Mostly it doesn't work out.
Yeah,
Like,
and if it works out, it's like, okay, cool, I knew, you know.
Yeah, but I like to be surprised, and I like to not put too much thought in a year plan. Like, yeah, maybe there are some things I'm working for, but this is more personal things, and also more attached to like things that I always wanted to have in life, not so much focused on my DJ career.
Also personal things, or...
Yes, or musically wise, that I would like to produce more music and collaborate with some people, or have certain labels that I would like to release my music on, or something like this. But I always feel like if you talk about it, you jinx it a bit, you know. So I'm like...
I will not ask you. There is some people who believe in this thing of manifesting, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna share it with everybody until this thing happens.
Yeah, that never worked out for me.
Never worked out.
It works out for me when I don't speak about it.
It's better. And
Yeah.
I've been I changed my mind on this. This is a big thing that I changed my mind on in the last 12 months. Because I've listened to a few podcasts, one in particular by Henry Huberman, this biologist, and he says that basically if you say something that you want to do, and you keep saying that, you trick your brain into thinking you already have achieved it. So you boost your brain with dopamine, but actually you're not moving.
Yeah.
It's like, these people or in these situations where you just say, oh, I'm going to do this, and you never actually take action.
Yeah.
And that's why I think you kind of really decrease your willingness to actually put the work to do it.
Yeah.
So I stopped doing the same.
Yeah, it's good. I agree on this.
Yeah.
Because if you get too excited about it and then the moment maybe it also doesn't happen, you're so devastated. And this is what I try to avoid.
Yeah, the expectation. Yeah. Do you talk, for example, do you avoid that with everybody, or maybe with one or two people, your close people, you still talk about these things?
Yeah, with my partner I speak about these dreams and hopes and wishes, but maybe with my best friends, but also there I'm like,
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one question that is coming to mind is, before you actually became, like, you made DJing your profession, were there people that were telling you, you're crazy, don't, you need to get a real job, or people around you were supporting?
No, because I didn't talk about it too much.
I love it. I should do this in everything I do.
I moved in silence.
I love it. It's great.
No,
It's
I
great.
mean, yes, it was more. Also, my family didn't care. My mother was really proud of me, I think, and she was just asking me if I earning enough money to live. That's it.
Done.
And I was always a really free living person and really, how to say it, selbstständig, really
Independent.
Yeah. And so I always did the things that I enjoyed, and I studied. I finished my study. I worked for 3 years in a normal job, so I had some security in the back. I think if I would have done it directly after school, like I will be a DJ now, I think maybe there would have been some. I also don't recommend doing that, to be honest. I think like it's always good to have something in the back because you never know, and success is not measurable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And what is success for you?
Success for me is living a carefree life as good as possible. And successful for me is being able to have the freedom to, like right now, I can say which shows I want to play, which shows I'm feeling uncomfortable at. I can say my honest opinion about things without being scared that it will affect me somehow. Successful for me is the people who can be authentic and in their way of living, having enough time for me, having enough time for my friends also. Yes, sometimes it's a bit stressful. I don't see my friends this often, but in the end I can make a living from something that I love, from being creative also, and from like having people around me who also like it and give me good feedback. I think it's a dream. So I'm super privileged and I'm really happy about it. I don't want to like say anything bad about this job, because yes, sometimes this traveling is hard, but come on, it's not as hard as waking up every morning at 6 a.m. and going to the factory. It's a super privileged job. People invite you to come to them. You get like pick it up from the airport. The people try to make you as comfortable as possible. Like, come on, stop whining about it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there's so many worse jobs.
Yes, honestly.
Yeah.
And I have myself to take care of and 2 cats. So
You're pretty free.
I can make my children happy with my job. After the weekend, I come out and say, Mama brought you the food.
It's your job done. Responsibility covered for this week.
For real.
It seems you're managing to be successful in your own way. Like you're carefree. You're free to do whatever you want, and you're appreciating it, which makes you happy and content.
Yes, I think if you are always focusing on the hard parts of the job. Yes, sometimes I also had really hard moments where I was like, okay, maybe I'm not sure if I still want to do it or if I'm made to do this. Because yes, there are situations like in every job in life where you just feel overwhelmed and just feel like, oh my god, I'm tired and sick of this shit. I think it's normal. Like, having a job is never fully fun.
Yeah.
So I think it's super important that you are just appreciating it. And if you're not appreciating it, maybe it's not the right thing for you.
Yeah, and I think, again, not everybody, but I think most people can reasonably make changes and quit a job, start another one, do something else. We're not slaves, very luckily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, of course, it's hard to get out of the position where you're in. And I think mental health is also a big part of this. And of course, it's easy to say, like, if you don't like a job, find something else. This is also not how I mean it. I just mean it that if you have a privileged job like this, you should also appreciate it and not, like, cry about how hard it is to travel the world.
Yeah, yeah. Seems that you are in a good place.
I hope I don't sound bitchy.
The opposite to me. Like,
Okay.
you sound very grateful, and I think I've met tons of people, and I think there is some people who have this gratitude for what they have, and they don't take it for granted. And I think you're one of these that really appreciate what they have. They don't say, "Oh, I'm so talented. This was due to me."
Yeah.
And I think it's a good approach for your own happiness to have that as almost like as a compass. No matter what, you're grateful. I had this gig. Of course, there's parts that suck, but I enjoy my life. I'm happy. I'm not.
And in the end, when the party sucks, it's not that deep.
It's not a deep. It's true. It's true. It's a job.
Yeah. And it's just a party.
It's just a party. Yeah, it's true. And one thing that I think also from one other interview you released was you say that it's very important to pay compliments to people. Who is a person or another artist you paid recently a compliment to?
The last person I paid a compliment to was Dr. Rubinstein. She sent me the demos of her new EP and I loved it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's with a lot of acid and I think she did a really nice job, and I also really like her as an artist. Also like that she speaks up about the topics that are important and close to her. So I said to her, like, yeah, I really like your music. I will play this in this track. I think it's called Ecstasid.
I really imagine like what can be inside.
I think it's like ecstasy. Ecstasy. Yeah, it's cool.
Cool.
I told her that I really like it.
Very cool. We're going to wrap up the interview. I have a few more questions that are more fast questions. One is, okay, I love this question. Can you sing one of your latest songs?
Yes. I will sing the vocals of the track that I just talked about. It's like this. In the night, your skin is touching mine. Electric sparks will make us align. Take my cup with the tears of the past. Come with the rush in the rhythm we trust. And then dum, bum, 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 bum. This is not the vocal, this is the melody.
I love it. I love it. You're the first person who actually can I don't know if they can sing, but they actually sang a song. Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to listening to the new release.
Yes, I hope you like it.
Very cool. Is it the first one you do? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it's my first one, and I did it together with my boyfriend, and he released a lot of stuff before, yeah.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And few more questions.
Yes.
If you have to choose one track for the rest of your life as a closing track, let's say, what would that be?
I think it's called Not Over Yet. Mm-hmm. It's like this really dramatic, it's not over now. Still a piece of me. It's a bit like, it reminds me like of anime or something like this. And I think it's a nice way to end your set, to say that it's not over yet.
Not over yet. And people ask, okay, one more.
Okay, no, it's my closing track for the rest of my life.
Very cool. And if you were stuck on an island for a week, which is not so long, but it's a week, let's say a month.
In a resort?
No, it's a deserted island.
Okay.
You can choose to stay with one person, one other artist could be any type of artist, dead or alive, a person you know or you don't know, who would that be?
I think I need to find somebody with a good skill set. No?
Like
Maybe
survival.
Olivia Mendes, she can surf, no?
Yeah, exactly.
She
Wow.
can teach me how to surf.
Did you see the video? That was crazy.
Yeah, she did cooking on the surfboard.
Fuck.
I want to learn this.
Yeah, me too.
Or SPF DJ, she can bring the sun blocker.
Yeah. Useful skills. Exactly. How do you
I'm
have
sure
fun
she has a
surfing?
good one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's true. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so Olivia Mendes or SPF DJ.
Yeah.
Very cool. And would you rather play in front of 10,000 people? There are strangers you don't have the possibility to connect with. You cannot meet them because they will leave after the show. Or 50 close friends.
Also there's 10,000 people that you normally have in front of you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like exactly, but like you're so removed that you're playing on a stage like super high up. You just cannot meet anybody. You're alone. You're playing to them. Everybody's enjoying it, but then you have no opportunity to actually go and talk to anybody.
Okay.
Or you play in a house party for your 50 friends.
10,000 strangers.
10,000 strangers. Yeah.
Yes. My friends are the most judgmental people I've ever met in my life. I'm trying to avoid them as much as possible.
That's why you don't talk about your dreams with them. I'm
They're
not
like,
gonna tell you anything.
your dreams suck. No, I mean they only want the best from me. They give me feedback, and they like tell me like what I can. They're like my most critics, you know.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have it.
Yeah.
But sometimes also you think like, okay, I understood. Thank you.
It's enough.
So I'm trying to avoid house parties for 50 friends.
You just want to go to.
Actually, I will play at my mother's wedding in summer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, but she sent me this Spotify playlist of what tracks she wants to listen to, and the first one was "What a Wonderful World" by Louis Armstrong. Like, how should I miss this? I see trees so green.
Are you gonna play like your normal music?
No. She asked me like she wants to hear 80s.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah,
But you're
that's
happy
cute.
with that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Amazing. Yeah. Super interesting. Are you gonna bring some of your friends as well?
No.
No. No judgment. Nobody,
It's too intimate.
nobody knows you. And two more questions. One is, what is one project you're excited about in the nearest future? Might be the release, I guess.
Yes, of course, CP. I'm super excited about it. I've had really nice feedback also from a lot of other artists, and some people are already playing the tracks. And for me, this is the first time experience in my life, and I love feeling something for the first time.
Yeah.
It's a new feeling, like
Very
new
cool.
feeling has entered the chat.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And it's out on 15th of May.
Yeah, 15th of May. It's called Visual Freak.
Visual Freak EP, or I mean, how many tracks are they?
It has 4 tracks and 1 remix by Shake.
Okay.
So it's out
5 in total.
digitally and then on vinyl a month later.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
How excited are you for that?
Oh, so excited, yeah. Because we did most of it by ourselves, like also with design-wise and stuff like this. I chose everything. I chose the artwork. We made like a really nice concept, and it's so crazy when you see that your work pays off. Not as in like, yeah, you're selling the product, but more like some people texting me like, hey, your song really moved me, or it made me feel something. And yeah, I hope that the more music that we release, people start to see the whole thing as like a concept and understand it. And yeah, it's my way to express myself, and also that it's a project together with my boyfriend, the closest person to me. It's like a love story, you know. It's something really personal, and I'm happy to share it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and also especially because if it means something for you, you already won.
Yeah,
That's
true.
it, jackpot.
Yeah.
Very happy for you. And we have closing tradition at HoS Sound, which is we ask everybody to ask a question we should ask the next guest. What should we ask the next guest?
You should ask the next guest if they had a club, what they would name it.
Okay.
Because this is where true creativity shows. Everybody, because they never question the names of the clubs. And I think I have some nice ideas. I would like to listen to the ones of the other people.
Interesting. Okay. We will definitely ask
How
it.
would you call your club?
I know the idea. Home. I would call it home. Yeah.
That's true, actually.
Yeah. That's true. I always had this dream of like, this is also the reason why it was one of my suggestions for Almost Sound was I wanted to create a home for producers, for music, for people who are interested in music. I would definitely call it home, probably with a full stop.
Good.
At the end. Yeah.
Period.
Period, exactly. That's home. The last place you want to be.
Oh, period.
Done. And one question for you from one of the previous guests is, in spite of what you do,
I do what I do because I get requested to do what I do.
Okay.
I'm really like living with this. I do what I do because the people want me to do it. And I have a job where it's about the request and answer. And I want to give an answer to this. And when maybe I'm right now at the right spot at the right time, and if it makes people happy, I'm also happy.
Yeah. And is there a challenge that you have to face and overcome to be able for you to continue doing this? Or it could be personal or from the external world.
Sounds a bit cheesy, but just believing in myself and trusting in my skills, learning more every day, and not losing this. Maybe it's a bit naiveness, or how do we say it? Naivety.
And naivety, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Carefreeness.
Carefreeness, and fully enjoying my life right now.
It's inspiring, and please, I believe in you. Please keep being like this and being. Never take yourself too serious. We need more of this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being with us. It's been a pleasure.
See you soon.
See you soon.